Kit Malthouse. Mr. Malthouse, great to have you here. Reports of Conservative losses vary wildly, of course, from 200 to 800. So what can be considered a successful night for Boris Johnson?
Well, look, I think it's going to be a difficult night across the board for a variety of reasons, Dan. I mean, first of all, the votes are sort of, to a certain extent, stacked against us. 40% of the votes are in London. Quite a lot of them are urban. We're coming off a bit of a high watermark, and certainly out there knocking on doors myself and talking to people on the doorstep today and in the weeks in the run-up, I do think it feels to me like we're going to have a very, very tough night. So anything that doesn't seem tough, and of course it's very sad for those councillors who do lose their seats after often many, many years of service, I think will help. I mean, we are midterm. People are coming out of COVID, certainly in some parts of the country, very angry. London in particular, I know, still expressing anger about Brexit. Obviously, it voted very strongly against that. They will, in time, I'm convinced, learn to love it. But I think over the next few hours, we will see some disappointing results.
OK, so you're braced for a bad result. When you're out campaigning, Minister, were people talking to you about Partygate or about the cost of living crisis?
So I would say those people who weren't supportive, I would say probably it's about 80-20 cost of living versus Partygate. A bit of Partygate fading, obviously, particularly in the light of Beergate. People don't like those in glass houses throwing stones. Doesn't go down well with them. But definitely the cost of living is cutting through, and it's very, very tough. I mean, obviously, we've seen the economic news today from the Bank of England. People are concerned naturally about their future and what it's going to look like and what inflation is going to do to them. They can feel it in their day-to-day lives, and obviously that is a cause of concern. So that combined, as I say, with the nature of the seats that are up for grabs, the fact that we're mid-term does mean, as you said, that I'm braced for a difficult night.
Now, look, a lot of your colleagues on the back benches are rumoured to have prepared letters of no confidence for the 1922 committee. I think that is really jumping the gun, actually. Would you implore them to just wait? Because this is not the time to unsettle the country, is it?
Well, I wouldn't implore them to wait. I'd implore them not to do it at all, even if they would wait for the future, right? Because, we are midterm. It is a difficult moment. But, tough times don't last. Tough people do. Right? Government is about having the privilege to choose and to make difficult decisions in very challenging circumstances. We're coming out of a global pandemic. We've gone into a dreadful war on continental Europe in which we're throwing everything we've got in assisting those Ukrainians. But that has a massive impact that is costing us, right? We are supporting them in that fight at a cost to ourselves, a cost absolutely worth paying. And so I hope that people, particularly my colleagues, will see that combination, see that we're midterm, know that in Boris Johnson, we have the man who's got all the big calls right over the last couple of years, and I'm firmly convinced can win the next election for us and lead us into a brighter future.
Now, you referenced Bears with Care coming up on the doorsteps. Should Durham police reopen this investigation, given all of the new evidence that has come to light over the past couple of weeks?
So, Dan, you'll have to forgive me. I'm the policing minister, and I'm afraid it's not denying the audience that I don't comment on police investigations. But look, what I can say is that obviously the police do strive to be consistent across the whole of the country. And I know that Durham, just like the Met, just like all police forces, will do their duty as they see fit.
I know you can't comment specifically on the investigation, but it's pretty obvious to me that Mr. Starmer broke the rules just by reading the rules and looking at the video. Do you agree?
So it's very hard to say from my point of view, Dan. As I say, you'll have to forgive me not commenting on these cases, whether there is or isn't an investigation underway. Obviously, there is still a Met Police investigation, and I'm really sorry, it wouldn't be proper for me to get involved. I obviously have, close contact with the police. I'm talking to them all the time about knife crime and rape and burglary and driving those numbers down as hard and as fast as we can. And so I really can't comment on those issues. But I know Durham Police, it's a high-performing force, and I know that they will do what's right and proper.
Well, let's hope they do the right thing. That was the Minister for Crime and Policing, Kit Malthouse. Thank you so much for being here.